Hey, how you doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, November 27th, day after Thanksgiving. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. This is the last of my cold steel fixed blades. These are my 3V ones. I don't have a whole lot of these, so this is going to be pretty simple and fast. Let's start off with this one. This is the IX, or the 9-inch blade. These I'll be wiping them off because they have, I keep grease on them. Militech 1 grease. When I store them. I mean, that's the 9-inch one. This is the biggest one I got, the longest one I got with the 3Vs. There's still a couple of 3Vs I would like to get. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them though, because I don't know if they're going to continue to make these. Because I would like to get the 12-inch and the Taipan and the Recon. And the 3Vs. And also the 12-inch Warcraft too. But, you know, that's part of, you know, collecting. It's being patient and waiting until you come across a great deal. This one came from eBay, I believe it was. I think I purchased this one on eBay. Trying to remember if it was eBay. Pretty sure it was eBay. For under $200. But these are getting hard to find now because just about all the Nightfall series are just about gone. And it doesn't look like they're making, I don't know if they're going to make them anymore. I know they're coming out with the new flashy version of the Magnum Tontos, but it's going to have 3V steel, it looks like, instead of the Sam May steel. I don't know if they're going to make the Sam May ones anymore. But they still might be making these. Maybe they just haven't put out any of the new models yet. If so, I would like to get a 12-inch one of these. Why do I want the 12-inch? Because I just think it's really cool. It's like a short sword. Like my Sam May 12-inch. The XII 12. Yeah, last night I was calling the Sam Mays, my Magnum series, by the wrong names. I was calling because I was thinking, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking that the X was like the V, like a 5. I think that's what I was doing. Drinking a little bit too much yesterday. Celebrating with my family. Made the video after I got done celebrating. But this is a beautiful knife. I really love these. If I was actually going to go into combat anywhere or do anything like that, these would be the ones I'd want to take with me. It'll be the 3V Nightfall series. I'd choose probably from that or Warcraft if I had all the Warcrafts I like. Warcrafts are nice too. This one right here is the Tonto 2 3V. I won this one on eBay, and it was a bidding going on this, and I ended up only having to pay like $105 for this one. It's probably the deal of the century for one of these. That's one thing. That's part of the fun for me. Is I always like to find bargains. I never like to pay full retail price for anything. I get on the internet. I always like to search through the internet until I find good bargains and good deals on stuff. Maybe Pat's new site, when they refresh the site, Knight's Knives. I hope they're going to have a bunch of these. Because I'll definitely be checking them out because he had great prices on my Sam A's. The 4 Sam A knives I bought off of him. But these are just like the Sam Mays. The handles are exact same thing. It's just everything's all blacked out in DLC. And I love DLC coating. In my opinion, if you have a 3V blade, which is a high carbon blade, and I think it has chromium in it too, but I think the chromium content's low, sort of like D2. So it will rust. And blades like that, I like to always have them coated. These are the most desirable 3V ones to me. I might even get one of the new 3V ones that are replacing the Sami's if that's what they're doing, just to be getting it to add it to my collection, but that's not my desirable one. I like the blacked out ones. And besides, if you're going to actually carry one of these, I'd rather have it be all blacked out than having real shiny parts anyway. It makes it less noticeable. These would be better for a combat blade if you ask me, because of the way that they're finished. And 3V steel is awesome. It's awesome steel. It's a very, very awesome carbon steel. This one has a 7.5 inch blade, the Tonto 2. 7.5 inch blade. They're all 5mm thick. And another difference between these and the other ones that they made with Sam May is that these don't have a hollow grind. These have a flat grind or a saber grind. A fairly high saber grind. So these blades would be not only tougher because of the steel, but also because of the grind. Most combat blades that have been made for combat usually have a saber grind. They usually don't have hollow grinds. And I think it's just because it makes the edge tougher, and it makes the blade tougher. Hollow grinds are better for cutting things, but when strength is important, I think the saber grind is probably a better grind. And for a combat blade, strength should be very important. Absolutely love these. These are my favorite out of my Tontos. If I was going to actually carry one or use one, I'd want one of these blacked out ones. Show you the sheath. Exact same sheath as that you saw with the Sam A's. For the IX, the 9-inch, or this is the Tonto 2. For the Tonto 2 and the IX, this is the IX. They use the exact same sheaths as like the Sam A's. And this is the one I carry sometimes. I've carried this one a few times. It stays out by my bed. I don't put it away in the safe. The one I was telling you that I actually carried, the 6-inch blade. This is the Master Tonto for the 3V. Nightfall series. And it's probably the one that's most likely for me to ever carry it. The others I won't carry unless it's a combat situation. There'll be a save queens unless the shit hits the fan type situations or whatever. And I feel like I need a big combat blade. They would be my choice then. But sometimes I like to carry this one just to be carrying it. I got the different attachments that Cold Steel offers, and I ended up not liking them that much because I didn't like carrying it in the small of my back, and it's a little bit too big for that because the handle sticks up and it messes, and you can see the imprint in your shirt. So what I ended up doing was putting this in my pocket and then using the belt loop and carrying it like this in my pocket. Let me see if I can get a pair of pants I can show you. Give me just a second. Okay, imagine that I have this on, a pair of pants. Fits in your pocket just like that. And then with the belt loop. Then the shirt goes over it, so it's concealed. Where I live, we're not supposed to carry concealed weapons that are fixed blades. So legally, it would be legal for it to be out like this on the belt loop, and you can see part of it or whatever. But I always wear my shirts over my pants. But the times I have carried it concealed. I broke the law. It carries really nicely like that, or in your back pocket like that. That's the ways I found that I can carry it that's not as noticeable. Because with me, my waistline is bigger than my butt line, or my stomach line is bigger than my waistline, or whatever you want to call it. So it's uncomfortable to carry it in those, like a tech lock or whatever, because it pushes up against my body, and it's just not comfortable for me to carry it like that. So for me, you know, being a little bit overweight guy, it's more comfortable either carrying in the back pocket like this with the belt going through. But the way I like it the best is right here. And if I need to use it, it's really easy for me to grab. Just like that. That's why I found out this works best for me. And this size is the size that works the best. The 6 inch. As far as like if you're going to carry it in your pocket like that. I really love this knife. Really love this knife. The Master Tonto is my favorite one out of the entire series. I'm talking about the size of it for either the Sam Mays or the Nightfall series. It's the one that's easiest for me to carry if I want to carry it concealed. Now, if you're not worried about carrying it concealed and you can carry a big old sword where you live or whatever without attracting the wrong kind of attention or whatever, that's cool. But if you are worried about attracting the wrong kind of attention, I would go with this size. The one with the 6 inch blade, because it's still a lot more blade than most of the folders. Most of the folders, the biggest folders, usually, except unless you're getting like the extra large Espada. I think that is like a 7 inch blade or something, 7.5 inch blade. It's more like one of these. But most of them only have like a 5.5 inch blade for the larges and the extra larges. This is a 6 inch blade. The ones that have 6 inch blades, I think, are the Tie Light. And the counterpoint doesn't quite have a 6 inch blade, but it's longer than a 5.5 inch blade. But most of them, you know, like the Tau War, the large Espada, your large Voyager, your extra large Voyagers, they all have like 5.5 inch blades. And I think that has something to do with the Texas laws, if I remember right, because they want to be able to market knives to Texas. I think they have a 5.5 inch blade limit for concealed pocket knives. So I think they did that on purpose. This is the one I like the best for actually using and carrying, is this one. This one actually gets carried. This is the only one out of all the ones I've shown you that I've actually carried. Except for my first budget knives, the boot knives, I used to carry those. Don't carry them anymore though, I used to carry them. But I like this one. I love the DLC coating. I love the flat grind, or the saber grind. I love the 3V steel. I love everything about it. I love the stainless steel finger guards and skull crusher. I love the grip. I like the 5mm blade, 5mm thick blade. Super strong, super stout, 6 inch fixed blade. And the military's always said, and the Marines, they always said that the best fighting knives are from 5.5 inches to about 8 inches. So this is a 6-inch knife, so you know it's right in there. And the balance on these is just right too. Right there. It's got the 50-50 balance just like the Sam May that I showed you last night. Excellent knives. Absolutely love them. Highly recommend them. Well, that's the end of the Magnum Tontos. This is my Nightfall series. I only have 3 of them. The 9-inch, the IX, the Tonto 2, 7.5-inch, and the Master Tonto, which is my favorite one out of all of them for, you know, carrying. This is my Warcraft. I only got one Warcraft. And it's a 7.5-inch Warcraft. It looks like they're gonna make these without the coating on them. I noticed like they have them coming out with they have a smaller one, a 5.5-inch blade that you can purchase now. It doesn't have coating on it. I wonder if that's gonna be the norm. Out of all the knives that are my Tonto fixed blades, this would be the one I would use if I was going to do wood crafting type stuff, like I see reviewers doing on TV, on YouTube. I think this one would be the one that's best suited for it because it's a full tang construction. It's got the thick 5mm blade. Well, all these got 5mm blades. It's got the saber grind, so it's going to be tough behind the edge. It can handle batoning and all that kind of stuff. It's got 3V steel, which is super tough steel. And the grip is outstanding too. The grip is like a very, I don't know, it's not like a fighter's grip. It's not a neutral grip, but it's a grip that's meant for, you know, heavy duty work and heavy duty cutting chores. It's got a G10 scaled handle. The scales can be removed and taken off and cleaned up and whatever, put back on. It's held in by torque screws. Very nice. Warcraft Tonto. This one feels heavier than the other ones. Than the fighters. I'm going to compare it. This has a 7.5-inch blade. I'm going to compare it to this one, the Tonto 2, with the 7.5-inch blade. Let's get the scale. The other one with the same reach. Scale time. Let me just run so I can see what's going on here. Okay. 11.3 ounces. 11.3 ounces. This one feels like it's heavier, like a couple ounces heavier. 12.9, almost 13 ounces. And this one's 11.3. Is that what it said? 11.3. And this one's 12.9. Almost an ounce and a half heavier. Or it is over an ounce and a half heavier. No, almost an ounce and a half heavier. 12.9. This knife feels stout. It feels like it'd be good for camp duty. It'd be good for more things other than just being a fighter. I think this would be more like a survival knife. Make a better survival knife than one of these. These are dedicated. These are meant to be fighters, if you ask me. The Magnum series and the Nightfall series, I think of them as fighters. Their primary purpose, their sole purpose is for combat, for defending yourself against somebody else. This one, it'd be better for you. It'd be good as a fighter also, but it'd also be good as a camp utility knife. You know, preparing campfires or making tent stakes, doing all that kind of stuff, doing wood, you know, wood crafting or whatever. I think it'd be a good all-around knife for that. So, you know, like if I was in a zombie apocalypse and I had to only pick one knife to survive with, I don't know. I think I'd rather have one of these, but I want the longer one though. I want the 12-inch. Because I think it'd be good for everything. Be a super strong, heavy-duty knife. They were hanging a car from this one. On their demonstration, the cold steel demonstration, they were hanging a car off the blade in a junkyard. This is a super strong blade. But you know, it feels super strong too though. It doesn't feel very agile. And the handle is not a handle that I would prefer for a fighting knife. Why it's not super grippy? It's not like one of these Nightfalls. This one right here, the handle on it, I mean, it feels like it's glued to your hand. I'd have more faith in this handle for a fighter. I don't know about you, but I want good grip. If I'm in a fight with the knife, I don't want to lose the knife because it has a bad grip. This one just feels better to me for it as like being a fighter. The balance on it's a little bit better too. It's probably right at the finger guard. Yeah, it's about right at the finger guard. So that's nice balance on this one too. Beautiful blades. I love this 3V steel. I just hope they continue to DLC coat it. DLC coating to me is the best coating that you can get for a knife blade. It's the most durable out of all the coatings I've experienced. It's the most durable. It's harder to wear off. It's the hardest to wear off. Works really well. Well, that's my 3Vs. And that's the end of my cold steel fixed blades. Now you have seen all my cold steel fixed blades. They're all on the YouTube now. Just been doing folders for a long time because I didn't think that many people were interested in my fixed blades. But I like fixed blades too. Yeah, as a fighter, I don't think I'd want this one as a fighter. I'd pick one of the Nightfalls over it. One of the Nightfalls or the Sameis. It feels really blade heavy. That's not too bad though. It's right in front of the guard. But if you're gonna need a knife for, you know, doing chores and knife cutting chores, heavy duty knife cutting chores and stuff like that, this would be good. Probably good as a competition chopper too. Especially if they had a 9-inch version. I don't know if they make a 9-inch version of this one. I haven't seen it if they do. I've just seen the 5.5 inch, the 7.5 inch, and the 12-inch. 12-inch looks really crazy looking. I like the 12-inch one. Absolutely beautiful. I'll show you the way I store them. Show you how to store them. This right here is a jar of Militech grease. It comes in a tube like a grease gun tube. and I empty out the grease gun tube in the glass jars. Just makes it easier to deal with. And what I do with carbon blades, I coat the blade with grease. So then it can handle long-term storage. I don't have to worry about rusting or getting any kind of rust spots on it. It's easier to clean off grease than it is to try to take care of rust spots. I know that they'll be fully protected. When Cold Steel sends these to you, they're covered in their grease. Their grease is like a black grease and it's kind of funky. That's probably the grease that maybe the Taiwan factory uses to keep it from rusting when it's being shipped from overseas. So the salt water won't get to it. I've understood that the 3V though is not, it doesn't rust super easy though. It's not like 1095. And I'm not talking about 1095 Crovan. I'm just talking about straight up 1095 like Ontario uses. That kind of metal, that kind of steel rots real easily. It's basically what they had in World War II, just straight up 1095 without the chromium vanadium added to it. Yeah, I just put in, looks all greasy and stuff, but I don't have to worry about rotting. I'll store it like that. I put a little bit of grease on the snaps too, because snaps will rust. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but they'll rust clothes. And like on my leather one, the snap rust clothes, and went to go pull it apart. It pulled this part of the snap off of the leather, so it doesn't work anymore. That's how I learned that lesson. I do this for all the ones I don't carry. Clean these off before I showed them to you. That's how you keep them looking new. Part of the reason why I collect so many knives is that I always thought in my retirement, when I retire finally, if I need money I could sell things. It's sort of like an investment. I don't buy things just to tear them up and stuff. I buy them for certain reasons. Not a rich man, but I've made a lot of money off of knives that I've sold that I've owned for a long time. That are no longer made. And so I know how valuable these things can become. This is stainless steel, so I'm not really worried about that. The pommel and the guard on these, they're made out of stainless steel, 300 series stainless steel. But if you're going to get one of these for combat use or whatever, I would get the 3V, one of the 3V ones. Not to put down the Sam May, but I just think the 3V, probably these 3V blades, the way that they're made, with the saber grind and with the super strong powdered super steel, super carbon steel, I just think they'd probably be a lot stronger blade. As far as, you know, being tougher and holding edge, everything. The only drawback though is that they will rust, so if you don't take care of them. Now they can go back into long-term storage. This one I don't do it to because it stays out. It doesn't go into the safe. Good to have grease. And then I keep them in their boxes. And they will all go into storage. And that's that. This is the one I like to carry. This is one I would recommend as an EDC fixed blade out of all of these. Would be this one. The Outdoorsman's nice too. The Outdoorsman uses the exact same sheath as the Master Tontos. But I like the Master Tontos and the Outdoorsman. I think those are the ones that I would EDC or use for that kind of purpose. If I was going to use any of these for that. They're not too heavy. They're just right. I don't know what the 5.5 inch Warcraft weighs, or I don't know too much about that one. I probably won't be getting that one. But the one I want to get though is a 12-inch one. And I don't know what that weighs. I imagine that weighs probably, you know, going on 2 pounds, if that weighs almost a pound. But I just like it. I just want to get one. But these are my favorites though. Out of all my fixed blades, the 3V ones are my favorites. The Sam A ones are my favorites as far as the way that they look. I think they're the most beautiful ones. These aren't the most beautiful ones. These are the ones that I would use if I was going in a combat situation, or I was doing something that was tactical, or if I was in the military and some special forces unit or SEALs or something like that, or what have you. These would be my choices right here. Would be these. Would be the Nightshade series, or the Nightfall series with the 3V blades. And if you're in an area with a lot of moisture, then I'd probably want one of the other ones, one of the Sam A ones. But the Sam A ones are too flashy though, to me for a military knife. They're too flashy. You can see flashes and glares for miles. And so you want to give away your position, so you want something that's blacked out. They're non-reflective. And that's what these are. Nightfall series are. These are, you know, meant for combat to me. These are the ones that I would carry for that type of purpose. For collecting though, I like my Sam A's. That's why I got all the Sam A's. I like those for collecting. These are to me more like a combat blade. An actual physical combat blade. And I like these the best out of all of them. Out of the Sam A Magnum Tontos, or the Warcrafts, or the Outdoorsman. What else I have? Taipans. All the other ones. The Oyabans, the Kobans. I like the Master Tonto the best. And I like the Master Tonto and 3V the best. That would be my first choice for an EDC carry fixed blade. For a combat blade, I don't know, maybe the IX might be the nice one, the 9-inch, or I don't know, even the Tonto 2 would be a nice one too. It's got a 7.5 inch blade. That'd be a nice combat blade. You know, when you're carrying it, you don't worry about people being able to see it, or whatever. Like on your LBE gear or whatever. In a combat situation, I probably would want a longer blade then. But for civilian use, for California city streets now. I like this size with the 6-inch blade. To me, it's the perfect size. But, you know, the Recon's a really nice size too, though. So I go back and forth between this one and the Recon. They made a Recon in 3V, but I try to find one of those and they're all gone. So I get leery about buying things used on like eBay sites and stuff like that because there's so many counterfeits of things. I really prefer to buy from dealers. You know, like Knight's Knives or Knife Center or Oso Grande or Blade HQ or I don't know, Midway USA. I prefer to buy, or Knife Works. Knife Works is another online dealer I like. But I prefer to buy something from them that I know people that are authorized cold steel dealers, and you know that you're actually getting a real cold steel product. Because you gotta be careful with a lot of the cold steels, especially like the fixed blades. And this is the one that was with me today, my Voyager. Love the Voyagers. I've always loved these. This my first cold steel triad lockback was a Voyager. Was an Oz 8 Voyager. This is the AUS 10A. This is the one I'm carrying now. I like the steel better. But I've always liked the Voyagers, and they're the you know, budget blade. You know, you get these. I bought the thing. I paid $43 for this at Midway USA, and I bought its bigger brother, the Oyabun. I'll call it the Oyabun. This is the Kobun. And I paid like $55 for that one at Midway. And I take that one to work. It goes in my bug up bag. Stays on my bug up bag in the back of my car backpack. But I forgot what I was gonna say. But I love my Tontos. Love my Tontos. Let me just leave it at that. And that's about it for this. I'm gonna put this one out there so you guys can see it and enjoy it this weekend. You talk about it if you want to talk about it. You know, tell me your opinion about them or what you think about them if you've experienced them. But I actually absolutely love the Magnum series of Tontos from Cold Steel. The Magnum series, the Master series, the Taipans. I love them all. I love them all. I think these are the most awesome fighting knives that there is. They're my number one choice. They're the ones I like the best. They're the ones I have the most of when it comes to fixed blades. I have a lot. I don't have that many other fixed blades. Majority of my fixed blades are the Magnum Tontos and the Cold Steel fixed blades. But anyway, that's it for that. Peace out. Stiletto.